Hi everyone, welcome back. In today's video I have some new in items from Sézane that I wanted to talk you through and show you what they look like on. So I've picked out 5 pieces from their spring collection. So these have all come from the past few drops. They do drop new collections sort of monthly and seasonally as well. So you do find new items coming into stock every few weeks. And all of these are relatively new in. I believe most of them are still available on the site, but if they're not, I will let you know down below, and also show you some alternatives because they quite often do the same silhouette in a few different prints. So even if one print is out of stock, you might like some of the others. So today we're going to talk about material composition because that's really important to me. We're going to talk about the price point and whether I think the garment is worth the price they're charging. We're going to talk about the quality and my first impressions of what it feels like on, what the material feels like against my skin, and whether I think it's overall of high quality. And then we'll talk about the fit, we'll talk about what it looks like and whether I like it or not, and whether I think I'm going to keep or return each piece. So I hope you enjoy this video. If you're wondering, I'm a UK 10 on top and a UK 12 on bottom, which equates to a European 38 to 40. So that's usually the size that I get in Sézane, depending on what they recommend as well. So if they recommend sizing down or sizing up, I might take that advice. I do find that Sézane runs pretty true to size most of the time, so they're fairly reliable in that sense. So with all that being said, if you do enjoy this video, make sure to give it a like so I know that you like this Sézane content and I can do more for you. So the first item I wanted to show you is this jacket. This is the Willa jacket. So it's a more cropped, slightly boxier version of the original Will jacket, which is part of their Essentials collection and they carry all year round. This is a slightly different take on that, and it's definitely more appealing to me than the original Will jacket because it is that little bit more cropped. So I did pick it up in this Rosewood colour, which is kind of it's like a mid-toned pink. It's quite dusky, quite mauvey, but it's a really nice addition of colour without being too much. And yeah, on initial impressions, I really like the colour. The material is a denim material, so it's made of 100% cotton. I think it's also organic cotton, yeah it is. So it's 100% organic cotton, which is really nice and it feels lovely. It feels sturdy. It feels like the stitching has all been done really carefully. I like the fact that the collar is quite small. So one of the things I like about Sézane is that even when they do these more masculine shapes, they do things like they have quite a small collar. The buttons are also quite small and they're tortoiseshell buttons. So it gives it that feminine touch to a more masculine silhouette, which I really like. The price of this jacket is £105, which I think for Sézane is a really good price. A lot of their blouses and their shirts are around the £100 mark. So to get a thick denim jacket for that price, I think is really good. I feel like it's a fair price for the material, for the attention to detail as well. There are little tortoiseshell buttons on the cuffs, which I imagine I will roll up. But yeah, and then there are these 2 top pockets with little flaps, and they're all real pockets, and then these deeper pockets here as well, which actually are quite deep, and you would be able to fit, you know, some keys or a phone in there if you needed. So that is the jacket on the hanger. I'll now show you what it looks like on. So this is the Willa jacket on. Now, first impressions, I think the fit is perfect. I got this in a size medium, which they say is about a UK 10. I'm a 10 to 12, so this is on the slightly smaller end for me, but I feel like it's just boxy enough, it's just baggy enough that I could fit a jumper underneath, but it isn't drowning me, it isn't making me feel really big. I think the sleeves are the perfect length, just sort of coming down halfway down my hand. And the length on it, if I can show you and stand back, is sort of hip length, but it is that boxier style, so I do feel like it will still go with dresses as well as trousers or jeans, which I really like and I think is what makes it different to the original Will jacket, which is much longer. I'm going to roll these sleeves up because I like it a little bit more casual. So the sleeves roll up really nicely and it just gives it a little bit more of a casual feel. You can put your hands in the pockets, it's really relaxed. I would wear this basically anywhere. I would wear this like literally on a dog walk, but also into the city, chucked over a summer dress if it's a little bit cool, or just take it in my bag if I'm going out in a dress and think that in the evening I might want a jacket. It's that sort of heavy sort of material that it would work in spring perfectly, especially in this colour, but it would equally work in summer on a cooler day or in autumn as well. So you could get quite a lot of wear out of this, I think. So would I recommend this jacket? Yes, I would. I think it's fantastic quality for the price. The material, 100% organic cotton, you can't beat that in a jacket. The colour is lovely and they do it in a few different colours. They have an amazing electric blue, they have an ecru, and they have a couple of other ones. I know they have a suede one as well, which is a little bit more expensive. But overall, I think it's really versatile. I think it's really wearable casually, which is important to me. And I think it's true to size. So I would say go with your normal size that you would pick from any brand or Sézane. So the next item of clothing I ordered was this dress. So this is a white short dress, so above the knee. It's sleeveless as well. And it's this lovely broderie on glaze in this cotton material. It's got quite exaggerated ruffles over the shoulder, so the shoulders are a little bit exaggerated. It's lined at the bottom, so the bottom half from the waist down has this lining, this cotton lining underneath, so it won't be too see-through, but the top doesn't. So if I put my hand in here, then you'll be able to see that, you will be able to see things under this top portion. So it's probably worth wearing a white or a nude bra under there, and hopefully that won't be too obvious. It is, what else can I tell you? It has a quite large keyhole cutout at the back, if you can see that, but it doesn't kind of gape too much, so it's not too much of an issue, and it's got a fabric covered white button at the top. And it is 100% cotton, so it should be really breathable for summer, which is the only season I'd really wear this dress in, sort of late spring, summertime, because it is white, it is sleeveless, so it's going to have to be quite warm in England to wear this. But I do think it's an England appropriate summer dress. Now I did get this in a UK 12, so that's a European 40, and on first impressions it does look pretty wide. So you can see all of that material there at the waist. It definitely looks like it's going to have a slightly oversized fit, which I'm not sure how flattering that will be on this style of dress. You could get away, you could kind of negate the problem of it being too wide by belting it potentially. I can imagine a brown belt looking quite nice with this dress, but we'll have to see what it looks like on. So first impressions putting this dress on is, it feels quite big. As you can see, if I pull the sleeves out, it's really wide and quite baggy, and I don't know how well that suits this kind of dress, especially with it being sleeveless. The ruffles come out quite far over the shoulders as well, which is quite a look. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm not sure it particularly suits me. There's also, it's just kind of like gappy here around the arms and just a little bit big, I think. If I step back, you can see the full length of it. So lengthwise, it's actually okay. It's sort of mid-thigh on me, which I don't mind, but I wouldn't want it to be any shorter, which again suggests that I might not have liked the 10. I don't know. I'm not convinced by it. It's not too much of an issue with the see-throughness. I'm wearing sort of a light coloured bra and I think that's fine. I think maybe with a belt. Maybe with a belt. Let's try it with a belt. belt definitely improves it. I still don't love it. I feel kind of silly. I feel kind of like this is very Tudor. Like, I know that's quite in style, like Bridgerton, very exaggerated shoulders, things like that, but this is just a bit much for me, I think. That's the back. What do you think? I think I'm going to be returning this. In terms of the feel, it feels lovely. It feels like cotton. The lining is nice, so you don't have to worry about it being sheer at the bottom. And I do think maybe if it fitted me better, I would like it. I was already a little bit unsure with it being sleeveless. I don't tend to go for sleeveless things. And I just think all of this ruffle is just adding a little bit too much to my top half. So the third item is another dress, but quite different to the first one. So this is the Victoria dress. Now this is a midi dress, and this one I've got is in the garden print. I think it's the garden print. So it's basically a navy background with green, red, yellow and blue flowers on it. So first impressions of the print, I absolutely love the print. I do quite like a ditzy small floral print like this. I think it's perfect for summer. And I like the colour scheme, and I like the navy background. The material is 100% viscose. So it's not the best material. Viscose is sort of a halfway house for me. It's not quite as nice as cotton or linen or silk, but it's also better than the purely synthetic materials. And I do understand why they make dresses in viscose. It is very easy to care for, it's durable, it doesn't really crease too much, so it definitely has its advantages. The size I got is a 40, which is a UK 12. Again, I wanted this to be a bit loose rather than too tight. So we'll see what it looks like on. Other things to note are there are some buttons going quite far down, so you can unbutton them if you want to sort of show some more of your leg. And they're fabric covered buttons, so they're in the same fabric as the material, so they blend into the dress, which I really like. And it's got a navy lining, but it's only on the top, so the bottom portion is not lined, it's only where the bust is that is lined. I think those are the main details of it. In terms of price, this was one of the more expensive items. This was, I believe, £145. So I think that makes it the most expensive piece that I bought this time from Sézane. So let's see if it is worth that price. So I have the dress on. Initial impressions are I do really like the top. I love the neckline. I think the square neckline is really flattering, and I like the sleeve length as well. The rest of the dress is nice. It's very floaty, it's quite loose. I definitely could have potentially got a size down, so a 10 or a 38, because I do have quite a lot of room here. But I am thinking of belting this dress as well anyway, so I'm not too worried about that. And I would rather have a little bit more room than not enough. So I'm quite happy with the sizing. The material feels nice. It does feel like viscose, but it feels like a good quality viscose. And I like the fact that the top is lined. It just feels a little bit more sturdy, and that it's not going to be see-through at all. So overall, my first impressions are definitely positive. I would now like to belt it again and see what that looks like. I love it belted. I think this belt is the perfect belt to go with this dress. But yeah, I think this just really brings it in at the waist. It stops it from feeling too loose, and it breaks it up a bit because it is a small print. It can feel quite intense all the way down. It does sort of reach mid-calf. So I really do like the way that the belt breaks the pattern up and just feels, yeah, really summery and really, really nice. Again, I also think this would look fantastic with the Willa jacket thrown over the top, so let's try that. So perfect for when you're, out and about in the summer, and maybe you're going into the evening, you're in someone's garden, gets a little bit chilly, throw the denim jacket over the top. And it looks nice with the colours as well. They're all kind of different colours, but they all tend to go quite well together because nothing is too crazy bright. And I think the brown, if I paired this with some brown sandals, which I don't have yet, but I am on the lookout for, that would really tie everything in. So would I recommend this dress? Yes, I think this is a lovely dress. I think the price is quite steep, particularly for the material. But if you love the silhouette or you love the pattern, I would say go for it. I think I'm going to be keeping this dress. So the belt I've been using with these dresses is actually the next item that I wanted to show you. This is the Jaques belt. So this is from Sézane as well. And it's a woven or braided brown leather belt. Quite wide, quite chunky, with a round buckle that's also got the same woven leather over it and a gold metal, what do you call that thing there? You know what I mean. I bought this for this exact purpose, for belting dresses, and I think it works perfectly. So this belt, I believe, was £75 or £80, somewhere in that price range, which is on the cheaper end for Sézane belts. It's probably one of the more affordable ones on their website, but I really like it, and I love the woven effect. I think it looks really summery, quite boho, but I think it fits with my style quite well. I got the smallest size, so I got the 80, which I was really unsure of what size to go for because it's 80, 90 and 100, which I think is centimetres, but it's hard to gauge what that actually means. This fits me really well. There's not a huge amount of excess, but there's enough that I can tighten it as much as I want. This doesn't have any belt holes, so you just sort of stick it through the woven material because there are naturally gaps in it, so you can really put it as tight as you want. So I would say if you're a 10 to 12 like me, I would say you could go for the smallest size. If you've got like a smallish waist, then the smaller size would be fine, because the advantage is you don't have loads of material hanging off the end, which I hate on belts, and it's sort of like flapping away. This sits really flush to the rest of the belt and just looks really nice. So I definitely would say go maybe slightly smaller rather than larger, because I do think it's plenty big enough. The quality feels really nice. I can't imagine it getting overly damaged at all, or sort of, yeah, fraying in any way. It feels well built. It's relatively expensive for a belt at £75, but I think for something you're going to put on over so many dresses, I think just having one for me is better than having loads of cheaper ones, because I just think you can tell. I think you can tell it's a more expensive belt, and it just fits perfectly. Okay, so the final item I have to show you is probably the one I was most excited for, mainly because of the colour. So this is, this is the Alyssa cardigan or jumper in the bright fuchsia pink. So this colour is actually called Bougainvillea, which I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that right, obviously it's French, but this just stood out to me immediately. It's so bright, but I think with my colouring and my dark hair, I think goes really well, but I think equally this would look amazing if you were blonde as well. I just think it's such a lovely colour and something a little bit different. Often with knitwear, I do tend to stick to quite neutral colours, so this is really refreshing for me to be picking something this bright. It's a cardigan, so you can wear it fully open over a dress, for example, or you can button it all the way up and wear it as a jumper. It's a blend, so material-wise, it is a third polyamide, a third mohair, and a third wool with a little bit of elastane as well. So I was a little bit worried about how itchy this would be. I'd never tried Sézane wool or Sézane mohair, and I'm quite sensitive to those materials. So I was a little bit apprehensive ordering this, whether I'd be able to stand the feel of it on my skin. So we'll actually test that out in a second when I try it on. The buttons are lovely. The buttons on Sézane clothing are always immaculate. They're the same colour as the jumper, but they're little sort of shiny pearlescent buttons, but in that bright pink colour. Overall, it feels really well made. It's a balloon sleeve, which I love on a cardigan or a jumper. I think they're really flattering. So it comes in at the cuff, And yeah, it's got sort of a simple neckline as well. It's really fluffy, it's got that really luxurious fluffy wool mohair feel to it, and it's got interesting sort of stitching through it, so it is kind of, I don't think you'll be able to see, but it does have like some lovely sort of lines going down, almost like, I don't know what you would call it, but it's just really beautiful to look at. I got this in a size M, so that equates to a UK 10 according to Sézane. So again, on the smaller side, but it looks like it should fit me perfectly. It did say to get my usual size, and I'm a 10 on top, so that's what I went for. So let's try it on. How lovely is this cardigan? Can we just take a minute to appreciate this cardigan? I love it. I think the colour just, oh, it's just so nice to have something so bright in my wardrobe. I feel like neutrals have been in for so long now that I'm so bored of them. This colour is just everything. It's so pretty. And actually, itch-wise, it's definitely scratchy, but I've got it on bare skin and I feel like I could tolerate it. So if you're super sensitive, and I am super sensitive to these things, I really never buy wool for this reason, I can definitely tolerate this. So I would say don't be too put off by the blend of materials. I think it's okay. And it is nice to have that natural material. So this was £110, which for the material is okay, but for the colour and just the look and how much I'm going to wear it is fine by me. I think this is my favourite thing from today's selection. It's just the perfect size as well. It's like a little bit boxy and it fits perfectly over this dress, but it's not too big, it's not too small. I also think it would look lovely done up as a jumper with jeans, which I would definitely wear it so much like that as well. I can wear this all through the year. I can chuck it on as a little jacket in the summer if it gets chilly. Equally, I can wear it in the winter as a proper jumper with a t-shirt underneath. Okay, so those are all the things that I selected from Sézane for today. I did also get one final thing, which is this tote bag. So this is a tote bag that they do to support their charity, which is called Demain. Demain means tomorrow in French, and they do loads of fantastic work with this charity. So I was quite eager to support. It was £10, just added to my cart at the end, and I was looking for ages for a tote bag as well, one that I liked and one that looks quite cute with the outfits. I wasn't just like an ugly Sainsbury's bag that I take to the supermarket. So I will definitely be taking this with me to the supermarket now. One thing I will say is it's absolutely massive. It's so big, which is great for food shops, but like maybe a bit too big for going like shopping to use as a reusable bag in terms of clothes shopping. But yeah, it's still really practical and really nice. And I love the different coloured letters on the wording. So yeah, I thought I would just show you that as well as a final item. So that is the end of everything I've got to show you today. I hope you've enjoyed this video. In terms of what I'll be keeping, I think everything apart from the white dress. Just too big on me, a little bit too ruffly, not my favourite thing. But other than that, I think everything has been exquisite. I love this cardigan. I love the dress with the belt. And the jacket as well. So I'm really impressed with these things today, and I'm looking forward to some of Sézane's summer items as well, because I just can't wait for all the print, all the colour. I'm sure it's going to be amazing. If you've liked this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments below if there's any more fashion content or other content you'd like to see from me, because I'll definitely be taking your recommendations.